Good morning, citizens! Hello, Stanton! And hello, viewers. To no surprise to anyone at all ever, CIG just released a new straight-to-flyable ship. And this ship is the ship that we saw in the original trailer for the Expo. That's right, the C8R. The Pisces C8 Rescue Edition, the newest in the Pisces line. This ship does explain a recent issue that appeared on Spectrum regarding the C8 and the C8X owners with the Best in Show paints. Originally, all Pisces owners would get those paints, then only the C8X variants, and clarification that each Pisces was indeed a variant and not modular or not considered the same thing. And this is unsurprising because CIG has been moving away from modularity in most cases. It happened with last year's Hercules owners with the Best in Show paints there, where one would be getting the paint and another wouldn't. Then CIG did make this year what I can only assume is a one-time deal, that the Pisces Best in Show paint is going to be across all variants, including, I would assume that means, the C8R. Now I am currently in, as we can see here, a C8X, and I'm going to head down to a location on the ground. We're going to go right here. Where are we going? To Opry here, and there should be a Platinum Bay on there. We're going to be able to take them both out because the Pisces is considered a double extra small ship, a small size ship. It's a ship that can be taken out on multiple ground pads so that you're able to take one out and not get stranded. That's why I really love the Pisces. So I'm taking a look and I'm going to do a comparison of the two variants. The C8, which is not a version that's for sale, is not going to be included. So the C8 Pisces is the Pisces variant, which is only available to people that buy a Carrack. When you buy a Carrack, you get a C8. Then there's a C8X, and now the C8R. Now the C8X is available currently as a starter package, so you can spend $60 and get a starter package with the C8X Pisces. That comes with 6 months insurance. It's on sale currently for $54 War Bond with a 10-year insurance. You can get the C8X on its own currently for $45. That's 120-month insurance or a 10-year insurance on that. The C8R currently standalone $65, $20 more for a 10-year insurance, or $60 War Bond with LTI. And so we're going to take a look at these, and then we're going to talk a bit about this. Now, as this goes along, you can also really kind of think of the C8R as kind of a smaller, lighter, cheaper version of the Cuddy Red. You might wonder, why would you use the C8R instead of the Cuddy Red? The main reason why the Cuddy Red is better is that it does have, you know, better armament, better range, a little more defensive capabilities, an interior space, like a much bigger interior space. Also, on top of that, the Pisces itself doesn't really have what the Cuddy Red has. It doesn't have multiple beds. It's only got the one single bed. Let's land on this. First, since I'm going to be flying this anyways, I just realized before I put the landing gear down, we'll just take a look. So this is the look of the ship. Winglets out. It's got the Pisces shape. Kind of nice white and black with a little bit of very small amount of red insert. We take a look at the landing gear. We pull this out here. They fold out here. This black-red landing gear here. Pretty cool. We're going to come in here. We're going to land at here. We're going to take a look at this. Now, it's the same size as the regular Pisces, and again, we're only going to be really comparing the C8X, this one, and the C8. Now, one kind of drawback of the C8 Pisces, as opposed to C8X and CR, is that the C8 Pisces, I don't believe you can ever upgrade. There is no CCUs you can buy to go from a C8 to something else. So the character owners that have that in their ship are basically locked with having that ship, as opposed to a C8X, which you can upgrade to something else. It's got a tier 3 med bed, so this bed in the upcoming Rescue Pisces cannot be used as a respawn point. It only kind of heals minor injuries. It's got one jump seat as opposed to the two. We'll kind of land them side by side and take a look at them. Where is Platinum Bay? Where is it? I've already gotten lost. I saw it, and I could have went to it. Oh, there it is. I don't know how I missed that. We're going to go pick that up. It does come with some paints. It comes with the responder paint, which is the exact opposite of what you're going to see when this comes out here. This is it's kind of cool looking. This is a red ship with white accents as opposed to a white ship with red accents. The heartbeat paint I kind of like as far as a rescue paint goes, because it is, again, red and black but with like a yellow hazard stripe on it. Ooh, what's in here? Let's get some free helmets. Put them in local. Deal with them later. Let's get our ship. We're going to take our ship out. So we go over here. This is the best part about this, is that we can claim it. I'm willing 43-second claim. I believe it's only 40 seconds for the Pisces, or is it 43? I'm not sure. 300-ish UEC. So let's do that, and let's claim this. Let's get this out. There's also the Nightbreak paint, and I can't remember the other paint. There's another paint. I'm not really a fan of them as far as Rescue Pisces paints, because they're like gray or gray camo. If you have a rescue ship, don't you want it to be visible and be seen and stand out so no one's going to mistake it for something else and take a shot at it? So this is the Rescue. You can see, aside from the color, it looks very much like the standard Pisces, but it is different. It is a variant, so we got to remember that. So I'm going to get in here, going to take a look. I haven't really looked at this yet, so I don't really know what it's like. Ooh, it's got this nice health symbol on the bottom here. That's kind of cool. It's got these like plastic, it looks like, through here. Or these glass. Ooh, they're little sliding glass doors. Cool, cool, cool. Components here. We got the ramp here. Med bed. Alright, we're gonna fly this over, put it next to the Pisces, and then we're gonna really look at these two ships and give them a look. Ooh, looks like there's a lot of cool stuff to look at here. So, pretty cool. Let's power this up. Power it up. There we go. Fly it over. Let's aim them the same way. Alright, we're going to check out, we're going to raise the landing gear. We're going to take a look at them. Ooh, the landing gear is red. That's kind of cool. I didn't even kind of notice that. So, overall, looking at these two here, you can see very similar in shape. I don't see how these are really that much different. The bottoms look almost identical. The big change is red landing gear, even red on the bottom, and black where there was red on the other one. So, cool. We're going to land this over here, right next to the other one. Perfect. Engines off. And we'll take a look at these ships. Actually, first things first, let's kind of take a look in this way. So looking at this here, there we go. Look at these ships. Look at those. You can definitely see Pisces. I don't really see any major differences between these. The little locations of the vents, the little tiny areas where the different panels meet, all to me look pretty identical. Now, one big change here, if I hit L and turn on the lights, you can see this does have the blinky lights of a rescue ship, white and red blinking there. They don't really show up too well. Now, there is a Q&A that CIJ put out for the ship. Now, the weird thing about it is they wouldn't confirm that this ship was coming out even though they actually showed it. So, the Q&A was questions that they posed to themselves as opposed to questions that came from backers. And you can really tell that because the big change, first of all, or the big question that would have asked is like, why is this considered two different variants? And why aren't paints transferable between the two? Since looking at this, like, I really don't see a huge difference in the shapes and design of the ship. I don't see it being a huge problem to put one paint on the other, but that could be me. There's probably some little thing, but we have the C8X, and the C8. So I'm going to go through those. I'm going to read the questions. I know the reason why these are variants and not modular or not really easily transferable is because, you know, you can sell two different Pisces. That would make sense. So the question is, what are the main advantages compared to the Cutlass Red? So this C8R is considered to be a much smaller ship with smaller components, meaning general operational costs are lower and cheaper to maintain, but it is more vulnerable to attack. So I can understand, yes, this is not as solid or as strong as something like a Cutlass Red. The window looks more gray than the red window over there, so that might be a big difference between the two looking at them too. The weapons hard points on the front look like they're the same to me. Yeah, I think so. Is the C8 Pisces a modular ship or a C8R variant? And then this is a variant, not modular. And what can this fit inside? The same things this can fit inside. So something, if you have a Cutlass and you can fit a Pisces in, you can also fit, not a Cutlass, what I'm thinking, a Carrack, you can also fit that in there. Now I'm going to scroll down a bit here. Any weapons on the armor rack on board of the medical variant? No, there is not. It's just got storage. One of its intended purposes is medical extraction. How well armored is it? It's about the same level as other Pisces variants. So it relies on speed and size to avoid fire. Well, good luck. How does the C8R compare to the C8 and C8X in terms of maneuverability and speed? Now, this is kind of interesting. It says it, and I'm going to read exactly what it says here. To make up space for the... Oh, no, hold on. The C8R is slightly faster in a straight line, with some extra power being provided to thrusters over the other variants. This is to aid in getting to patients quicker, as well as getting out of hostile situations faster. So it says more power to thrusters and faster in a straight line. It doesn't say anything about maneuverability. Is this more maneuverable? It would be interesting to have a Pisces race at some of the new racetracks and see which one turns faster and which one has an edge. If the C8R is coming out ahead over the X more often, or maybe the X will beat them on the turns, but this one is fast in a straight line. That'd be pretty cool. Does it retain its jump seats? Well, let's quickly look at what we're talking about for jump seats. So you come into the original standard Pisces. It's got the cargo grid here, and then it's got a jump seat here and a jump seat here. So you can have a crew of 3 with your pilot and 2 in here plus the cargo. So it's pretty cool. Whereas the medical variant, we come through here, besides these little doors here and the lack of a cargo grid, open, there we go, 1 jump seat over here. Now here's something that surprised me a moment ago when I first came in here. I thought this bed was over here. I thought it was on the left side. It's on the right side. But you can be sitting in the seat here, and you can be watching your patient as they're over on the bed there during a flight. Ooh, a little, oh, I can't look at myself through that. A little restraining bar came down on me. That's kind of cool. Oh, but you stand up through it. Interesting. Okay, but this little bar here that comes down on you. Got a screen here, kind of useless. We have some components here. This is something I was wondering too. So the bed, you're on the bed, and then you access scanning and medication over here. So that's kind of cool. Does it also happen on the bed? Can you treat yourself? Let's find out. So it looks like maybe... Oh, bed's lifting up. Oh yeah, that's cool. So you can still treat yourself. That's kind of a cool thing. Another question was, what was the signature like on this? Can you see this better, or is it harder to find and scan this compared to the other Pisces variants? It says that the signature should be the same as the other versions of the Pisces. It says that the medical bed doesn't draw any extra power currently, and it doesn't provide a stronger electronic signature currently. They use currently a lot there, so I'd be careful about whether or not eventually this is going to be drawing more power or producing a larger signal when the medical bed is in use. They want to know if you could use this as a spawn point. I already said that you cannot. Does it have any special features to withstand or evade incoming defense fire from ground positions compared to the Pisces? No, it does not. Let's just scroll down here a little bit more. There's the last 3 questions here. As it can be difficult to respond to medical beacon on the dark side of a moon or planet, can you tell us more about the headlights? Do they differ from standard Pisces? No, same headlights. I'm going to put these headlights on. We can take a look at the headlights of the two ships side by side. Does it have ground-facing headlights and that can be controlled by the pilot, which would be handy, but they do not. So here, we put the headlights on both those. You can see headlights face forwards, not down. So if you're trying to land around a group of people on the ground, it's going to be harder at night to see where they are. Hopefully you don't land on them. But that is the issue. Now, the ramps, they're the same, but I do like the white ramp of the medical. I do like that it's easier to see. That's kind of nice. So we're going to get out of the seat of this ship again. And we're going to take a look quick. So like I said, standard Pisces, we got some components here. We've got 2 jump seats, and then we've got the standard cargo grid with space to walk in between. Now you could fit delivery boxes in here amongst the cargo as well, and with physicalized cargo, I can't see why you can't cram a little more cargo in here and really fill it up, although you'd be blocking your back way. Where if we look at this one, no cargo grid. Now you could put cargo in here. You could physically bring boxes in here and to do delivery missions. You could bring the larger cargo boxes and place them down, but they're not going to snap into the grid. We do have a bunch of things here. Now this doesn't really make sense to me, all these loose bits here. As soon as you start flying around, everything's going to be flipping around onto the ground. We do got some water here. I don't know what those vials are for. Oxygen tanks. That'd be great if this was more explosive. Secure before takeoff. I don't know what that is. Is it like a fire extinguisher that doesn't exist? Waste disposal. I'd really hope waste disposal becomes a thing in this game where you can actually put garbage in there. And this, oh, does this open? It's got a little button on it. Ooh. Whoa, what am I holding? Which is this? Quick flare. Alright, let's take that. What else we got here? Oxy pens, water, food. That's terrific. Now flying around, I can assume all these are going to bounce around, but look at, you could actually grab all these oxy pens and you can store them somewhere, and then if you reclaim the ship, you can get yourself some free food and oxy pens and flares. It's not really worth it. I mean, the claim time's like 20 seconds, so I guess it's not super bad, but that's cool. That's really cool. I'm happy that they actually stock that and are things you can grab. And unlike whatever ship I was in during the Best in Show free fly, was it the Redeemer, where I couldn't get that to open and all the food just kind of rolled around inside. I don't like how blurry it is. I mean, look at it, gets less blurry when I zoom in on it, but that's kind of cool. And then we have the med bed on this side. Really, really neat. Now, let's see if there's anything else here. Not really. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to fly. The big question is, would I get myself the C8X Pisces or the C8R Pisces? And out of the two, if I'm going to choose one, it's going to be this one. It's going to be the C8X, not the C8R. And I'm going to tell you why. Really, personally for me, I don't see the big use for this at the moment. Now, eventually, I can see the use for this. Eventually, if they're really working on injuries and medical, where the point where you might get an injury that you just can't treat. You can get yourself moving, but you're going to keep falling down and keep having to use the med pens, which they kind of already have. But if it's something where long-lasting, where you're really going to need to be transported by someone else, rescue gameplay is going to be awesome. But right now, you can heal someone with a med gun, they get up and they start running around again. There's not a huge issue for a tier 3 bed. The fact that you can't use it as a spawn point, I'm 100% okay with, because I don't see the reason to have spawn point on such a cheap small ship as this. I think it's really something that is going to be limited to the bigger ships. But I don't do medical gameplay, and if I was just starting out, if I was just flying a ship, I would choose the one that I find a little more useful, which in my opinion has the cargo space, even though this one kind of does. I find if you could, can you lock these open? Can I lock them open? Because maybe. No. See, like, that's just a little extra time to get through. The door closes on you, and then you got to wait for the door to open before you can exit and leave the ship. I do like it's like a little sterile bay there. It makes sense for the rescue, but I'm not a big fan of it. Also, if you really wanted to get to rescue gameplay, I don't think there's a huge advantage with the size of the ship over something like the Cuddy Red. So, except for the cost, I don't really see this. But the main reason I wouldn't get this person myself, we'll go with the Cutlass as a good example. They have the Cutlass Black, the Cutlass Blue, the Cutlass Red. Then they brought out the Cutlass Steel, and the price of the steel was huge compared to the Cutlasses. CIG's putting out the prices, and they're going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden a big jump. Now we have the C8. You can't buy unless you buy a Carrick, so we're not going to consider that. But we have the C8X, and we can get this for $45. Or we can get this for $65. For a $45 ship, to go up almost 50% more for this ship, I don't see a 50% increase in value to get this ship here. So for me, it's just, I don't see this being a $65 ship. If this was 45 and this was 50, I would say they're pretty good in general. If you want to do medical or you want to do this one you can do cargo, this one you can do healing, and it does come with, you know, this. Now that I've found you can open that little thing and grab the little supplies in there, I think that's kind of a cool, nice touch. And also then you could take out your Pisces, grab some med pens, grab some other supplies, head down and do a mission with some other people. If you get an injury, someone can use the tractor beam on their multi-tool, put you in the med bed, heal you back up again. It's a really cool ship. I think that's awesome. But my personal choice is I would go with this ship here. The only reason I see people right now buying this, besides, you know, it's a new ship, it's new, awesome, and they want to try it out and they think it's awesome, is that it's, you could, with a war bond, $60, get this ship as an LTI ship. So that would be the only reason I would consider something like this as opposed to this. But for $60, I mean, right now you can get the Cutter, which I would say is a much better deal, and that is the Cutter with the game package, I believe, is even cheaper. So like the Cutter, I'd say, is a better deal than what you can get for this year. So awesome, 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 awesomer. The C8X Pisces and the C8R Pisces. There you have it. My thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you picked up the Rescue Edition? Do you have the X version? What do you think of the Pisces? What do you think of the sale? Hopefully this was informative, and hopefully you kind of got a little bit of more info on these two before making your choice. Until next time, I hope to see you soon in the verse. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Goodbye. Now I'm going to fly my favorite out of here. Goodbye, Rescue.